21. It's often described as traveller's prayer. It starts with a question. Who will protect me? It answers itself, and then it goes on with a blessing. And you may ask, how is that relevant? And how is it realistic? Well, it's relevant because we're all travellers in some way. Whether we're literally going from A to B on a long or a short journey, or whether we're on the journey of life where things change every day, we are all travellers. And at some point, we've all held our hands up in despair and said, who's looking out for me? Or, God, fix it. Recent weeks have highlighted, unfortunately, the dangers faced by those who travel through life without the right passport. As the Vietnamese community grieves 39 lives lost, we face the harsh reality that life is very dangerous and that not all of our fellow humans have good intentions. As winter comes, we fear for those without a home, those without a warm bed, those without heating, or for whom turning the heating on means skipping a meal. This city opened its emergency shelters over the weekend, and yet many here and in other countries are wary of accepting help for fear of being seen, named, photographed, or reported to immigration, police, or the people who brought them here. This week we also remember the end of the First World War and all the wars since. That war was the war to end all wars. And when they converted the Victory Day into a Remembrance Day, they said, lest we forget. Then as now, no one who went to war or embarked on a journey expected to lose a friend, experience an injury, or lose their own life. And many of them, in their moments of despair, will have prayed, who will look after me? Or if they believe in God, God protect me. And through the centuries, priests have answered, God will protect you. God never sleeps. But few are brave enough to have said, no harm will come to you. It's a brave statement, and at first reading, wholly unrealistic. In fact, in a world of war, poverty, famine and murder, it's hard to hear the Bible promising that no harm will come to us and no harm will come to anyone, because it clearly isn't true. It strikes me as the kind of statement that's made to make us feel better. And it's something that we all do for those that we care about. We tell each other, we're okay. It's going to be all right. We'll get through it. And I know I do it. I pick Matthew up after a bump on the head or bashing him into his car seat or any of the other things that happen all the time and tell him he's okay, even as I'm checking for the bump and worrying that he might not be. When we ask the impossible, please make it okay, God, we can only ever get an impossible answer, particularly if we're asking a human being. The truth is, it's a blessing and a prayer and a hope, and we all have an obligation to make that blessing through whenever we can. Because while God watches over us, and I believe that God does do that, humans have free will and we choose what our actions are. We can choose to be kind to the people we come across. We can choose to campaign for a fairer world. We can choose to support each other. We can choose to tackle the inequalities in the world that leads to people being vulnerable to traffickers. We can choose to remember those who fell in wars, those who came home broken, and those who survived. We can choose to work towards peace, and we can choose to be a holy resistance in the face of harm. And I know that this is all my choice, but I can only do it with God. When the war ended and the cry went up, never again, and we all said, lest we forget, we will have Remembrance Sunday. We said it in 1918, 1919 and 1920. And we've said it every year since. We said it through the 30s, the 40s, through World War II and the wars since. And we say it about 2019. There may not be an active war in Europe, but there are people dying everywhere. There are travellers dying, trying to get to a place of safety, trying to make their lives better. So I pray, and the piece of this reading that most people have heard is, as I lay my head down tonight, will you watch over me? I pray and I ask, who will take care of us? And I remember that I can do what I can do, and God